Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk on the defenses of duress, and also the defense of duress, and also the defense of slight harm. Okay, let's look at the defense of duress. This is stated under Section 94 of the Penal Code, except for murder and offences against the state, punishable with death. So this defense is not applicable for the offense of murder and offenses against the state, which is punishable with death. Nothing is an offense which is done by a person who is compelled to do it by threats. So a person who is compelled, who is forced to commit the wrongdoing, which at the time of doing it reasonably causes the apprehension that instant death to that person. He is compelled by being threatened with instant death will otherwise be the consequence. So a person who is threatened with instant death, if he is forced to do something which is against the law, and he is threatened if he doesn't do that, he will be killed immediately. So if that is the situation, then he may be able to rely on the defense of duress. So the requirement, number one, there must be the threat of death, apprehension of death, and this threat must be of instant death. It's not that I will kill you next week, for example. No, you will die now. If you don't do this, then you will die now. The threat is directed at the person of the accused himself. So this is only applicable, Section 94 is only applicable if the threat is to kill the victim immediately, not to his family member, for example. So it's not applicable to that because it's of the clear wording of Section 94. If you look at Section 94, who is compelled to do it by threat, which at the time of doing it causes the apprehension that instant death to that person. Yeah. And then the threat must continue to exist at the time of committing the criminal act. The restrictions on the defense is not applicable for a person who places himself in situations where he becomes the subject of the threat. This is stated under the proviso to Section 94. Number two, this defense is also not applicable to the offense of murder, meaning killing someone with intention, under Section 302. Number three, this defense is also not applicable to the offences punishable with death under Chapter 6. This is offences against the state of the Penal Code. And then the elements of the defense of duress, the threat must be of death. Nothing short of death. It must be by the threat must be of death, an immediate death, not extreme torture or serious injury. Nothing short of death. The threat must be of death. In the case of Queen Empress against Latif Khan, where it was held that nothing but fear of instant death would be a defense to a policeman who tortures anyone by the order of his superior. His allegation was that he was forced by his superior. But the court did not allow the defense of duress because it is not being threatened by the superior with, for example, hurt is not sufficient. It must be the threat of instant death. And then the threat must be objective in character. The accused must reasonably apprehend instant death. The fear must be well-founded. A reasonable man must apprehend death. A reasonable man apprehends death. In the case of Muhammad Yusuf bin Haji Ahmad against a public prosecutor, although there was no express threat of death, the court held that the fact that the pistol was pointed out at the vital part of the victim, which normally results in instant death. The pistol was put on his head. Normally that will result in instant death. Therefore, he was there was apprehension of death, immediate death. Therefore, he was allowed the defense of duress. Now, let us move on to another defense, the defense of slight harm. There are certain acts which are so trivial in nature that they should not form the basis for action in crime. The harm is so slight that it would be inappropriate for the law to hold the accused criminally responsible. This is stated under Section 95 of the Penal Code. Nothing is an offense by reason that it causes or that it is intended to cause, or that it is known to be likely to cause any harm, if that harm is so slight that no person with ordinary sense and temper will complain of such harm. If you look at Section 110, subsection 1, paragraph A and B of the Criminal Procedure Code, if the case is not so serious, if the case is not of a serious nature, or there is no sufficient ground for proceeding, the police need not proceed to make an inquiry into the facts and circumstances of the report. So if it is so trivial, for example, you enter into the bus full with people in that bus, and then because of that, your body, what do you call, touch the victim, and then cause the victim to be what do you call, pushed back in that situation. That is actually that it is an offense of criminal force, but it's so trivial. It is so trivial that in a normal situation, a normal person will not complain of such harm. So in this situation, if the victim make a police report, make a complaint, then your defense may be a slight harm. It is so slight that a reasonable man will accept that situation, will accept that minor force in that situation. Therefore, you may be allowed the defense of slight harm. So that's all under the defense of consent and slight harm. If you have any queries, if you have any problems or anything that you need further clarification or further explanation, please do ask during the online discussion. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.